Tonight's DJ and TV show is sponsored in part by Electro Voice, DJ Event Planner, ADJ, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, Newmark, and DJ and TV Insiders.
What's up, everybody? Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome back.
Good day.
Good day.
Good day.
Welcome back to another edition of the PHDJ Podcast with me, Joe Bunn, and on the other side.
What's going on, Joe? How are you?
Is my man, Mike Walter. There he
How are you?
is. We're counting down the days, the hours, till we actually see each other face to face and not via
I know,
Skype.
It's great. Yeah, you come in Sunday, I come in Sunday.
Mobile Beat is right on the horizon. So looking forward to hopefully seeing everybody there. Before we get into this episode, I want to remind y'all, if you text the phrase or the word, I guess, PHDJ to 919-364-6186, you'll be the first to know when we launch new episodes and when Mike and I push out product. I promise we won't blow up your phone too often. But again, 919-364-6186. Just text PHDJ to be the first in the loop.
And I noticed you sent out a text yesterday. Your new product is ready.
It is ready. It is ready. And it's
cool.
really...
What do you think?
I think it's really good, man.
Yeah.
It comes in right around an hour. I've included, just like you did when you kind of did a couple of your training products, a few manuals / internal sheets that we use here at the company.
Oh, good.
So
good.
some bonus stuff. I think.
And how are you distributing this? Is it on a USB?
I gave people an option,
download?
actually, Mike, this time. So if you go to, might as well plug it, djjoebunn.com / products, djjoebunn.com / products. You can buy hiring the music, marketing the music, or selling the music, and it gives you a drop down. You can choose digital delivery, and I'll just email you the link right away. Or actually, I'm going to wait until March 19th to actually deliver those because I'm going to let the Mobile Beat people have first dibs on it.
Okay.
Or you can actually choose a thumb drive. So I've got thumb drives for each, or flash drives.
So those can be mailed out, or you can just get them instant down.
I think I made it $20 more to get the thumb drive.
It'll be interesting. Well, at $20 more, I would imagine you'll get more instant downloads.
Yeah.
But without that, it would be an interesting experiment to see how many people choose.
Yeah.
If it was the same price, I would wonder how many people would want the instantaneous, like,
I know.
I want it
I
now.
watch it now.
As opposed to, I imagine, I don't think anyone's ordering something special just to get the thumb drive anymore.
No, I know. I think the main reason I did the thumb drive, Mike, was for the things that, you and I speak at. So when you walk out of the room.
Point of purchase.
Yeah, you got that. You've got that connection. Anyway.
Right. No doubt.
Looking forward to seeing you in Vegas. Hope everybody comes to your seminar.
Yeah, everyone listening, safe travels too. If you're heading out, hope your travels are safe, and look forward to seeing you in LV. And right, I speak Wednesday morning at 9, and then you are Thursday
10. Yeah, Thursday 10.
10.
Look at this. Look what just came in.
Oh, you got your 311 tickets.
One ticket.
Good for you.
I told you I'd go by myself.
Yeah, that's cool. Dude, I've gone to plenty of shows by myself, especially when you're not sure if other people are going to enjoy the artist or not.
Yeah.
Just go by yourself, man.
Because I don't need to convince you to like this.
Exactly.
Band.
Sometimes you drag somebody to a show, and then the whole night you're looking over going, are you digging this? Are
right.
you digging this? You know what I mean?
Nah.
Like, if you're a fan, just go.
Yeah,
and it's general admission.
Oh, yeah.
So if anybody else is in Vegas and is a 311 fan and wants to hook up with Joe, just don't get him high because apparently he doesn't vibe.
Find me in the pit. All right.
Yeah.
So I think, Mike, I'm not doing one of my potpourri cornucopia, whatever we end up calling it, of topics, but I do think I have two today.
You got a double barrel hit?
A double barrel banger, and they came from listeners over the past few months. So, and this one's happened to us recently. And I think I handled it poorly. And in fact, I'm pretty sure you'll go, Joe, you handled that poorly.
This will be another situation where I go, listeners, do not do what Joe did here.
I didn't do a good job, and I know it.
All right. Sounds like confession time, Joe.
It is confession
Confess
time.
to us what you've done wrong.
I won't confess, but I will open the topic up and say that it's only happened a few times, maybe, a half dozen times in the entire history of the 30 years. But how do you quit a client? So let me
discussed this a little bit. So,
right.
But you said, because I think the first time we talked about this, you and I both said we have not done that. So you've had a situation now where you have.
It was not my personal bride, but this just happened with one of my DJs.
But it was a Bunn DJ client.
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
Give us the quick background, and I'll know whether I would have made the same.
Recent history. She did not come through the contact page portal. She knew a friend of a friend or something, and she contacted Steve. I shouldn't have even said who it was, but anyway, she contacted.
You want me to bleep that out?
Maybe. She contacted one of my guys, and then of course he said, "Joe, I've got a lead for this date. Put it on the calendar." And I can't remember if I did or didn't. I did.
Okay.
But so a series of things happened. First, they came in for the consult, and it was just question after question of just things we've never been asked in our lifetime.
You have to give us some examples here, or else it doesn't.
This is not a red flag for us by any means, because it happens all the time, and we have different ways of handling it. And I know obviously you do a much different job, especially being the owner of a video company. But do you have any footage of you playing? And we've talked about this before ad nauseum. And then,
I'm actually really surprised that you don't. And anyone listening to this, if you're a veteran in the industry, it would be really surprising. And you don't have to own your own video company or have a sister video company under your umbrella. Before we had Elite Films, I still had plenty of video footage of our staff. Now, obviously, I got way more. But it surprises me that you're not able to go, oh, okay, even if that's not usually part of your main sales. And I get that. If you don't want to make that part of your main sales. But when you're asked that question, if you can't just go, of course, here, that's surprising to me. So they asked you that question and you were left with no answer.
Right. So,
you were left with an answer, but the answer was no.
The answer was no. And then they said, we want to come see you at a gig. Well, we're not really in the habit of inviting strangers to people's weddings.
Right, but Joe, you understand that that's the obvious question after you hear no, there's no video. And also you guys don't showcase, right? So so the other option, and little plug here, it's probably too last minute to sell any tickets, but this is something I talk about extensively at the workshop about ways to showcase and how to put something like that together. So, you don't have video footage, you don't showcase. So, that's a logical question. Well, then when can we come see you?
So then somehow, we come up with 2 and 2 and realize that he has this big charity event coming up in a couple of weeks. And, we invite him to that. And I'm sure, we didn't make him pay for a ticket, but we invited him to that. Said, look, this is going to be a good dance party.
Okay.
Well,
it's a good alternative.
A good crowd, so on and so forth. Then they come to an open house we were doing at there's a florist that does a huge, he calls it like a tabletop extravaganza. And he has his entire warehouse decorated. I've never seen, honestly, florals like this. And I've seen some pretty amazing weddings, as have you. So Steve's there. He's playing the music. They come. Mom's with him. And they just start accosting him from like minute one. Is like, we were playing a video loop. Where are you on the video? Well, I'm coming up in a minute. I think it was that new video we just did. And then there was another reel of just promo stuff. It doesn't even have it's just got a soundtrack over the top of it. It's just clips of my guys. It's not. And
just so we're clear on this, these people have not signed a contract yet, right?
Correct.
They have not given you a deposit, have not signed a contract.
Correct. Okay. And then on top of that,
hang on, one more question.
Okay.
Have you given any kind of verbal commitment, like we'll hold? We've said his name a couple times, so there's no point in avoiding.
Yeah.
So have you said we'll hold Steve till such and such a date until you make a decision, or has that not been that kind of verbal commitment?
I think Steve had told him that, right? This thing's coming up. I got your date held, so on and so forth.
Okay.
And they came in. Mom's on him, the bride's on him, and then a day later, I go to lunch with a photographer that was there as well, and he starts telling me a story about this particular client, and all of a sudden I put 2 and 2 together, and I go, was she at this thing last night? Same client. And he's trying to get out of it.
Okay.
So long story short, Steve calls me up a couple of days later. He's like, man, it's going to end badly. It is this. I don't care how good this wedding is. It's never going to be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get out of it. How? And I said, so his suggestion, which I feel like was the right one, was I'm just going to call or email her and say, I don't think we're the right fit.
Yep. I think that's the best thing you can do.
I messed it up. I said, throw me under the bus and tell her I never put it on the calendar and I booked it.
Yeah. Why? Well, now what would make you?
Because I didn't want to hurt somebody's feelings, I think.
I don't know if that would hurt somebody's feelings. And B, in the sales process, feelings are hurt all the time, Joe. I mean, when a client says to you,
I'm telling you, I screwed it up.
All right. Listen, I appreciate the full confession and I'm not going to beat you up over it. But yeah, I don't understand the motivation. I guess I understand the whole, I don't want to hurt your feeling. And listen, I don't know how a client's going to react. What do you mean we're not the right fit? What, you know what I mean? Because I imagine there's going to be follow-up questions at which at some point you and or Steve are going to have to say, yeah, you're a pain in the ass or some version of that. But I would rather, and listen, I'm talking from a place of supposition here because I've never done it. I don't think we have ever turned down a client. And my point is always that usually the red flags come up after the booking. Mm-hmm. And now, believe me, there have been plenty of times where a month before a wedding, I or one of my DJs have said, "Oh, I wish we hadn't booked this client. They're going to be a pain in the ass."
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure.
But at that point, you've already written a contract, taken their deposit. It's
already gotten the
months
balance
in advance or weeks in advance. A, it'd be illegal, I think, to break the contract. Question for Jeremy Jones. But B, even if it's not illegal, it's just unethical and not something you want to do.
Right.
I just haven't been in that unique position where all those red flags have gone up before the booking takes place. So if that happens, I think that I would just say to them exactly what Steve had said he was going to say. Yeah, I don't think we're a good fit.
I messed it up. I admitted it to him later. I said, I messed that up, man. I should have let you do what you said you were going to do, your gut reaction. And I was just trying to be too.
Honesty is the best policy.
Yeah. I agree.
We have our title for this episode right here.
There we go. Nailed
Honesty is the best policy. Yeah.
So I agree, Mike.
So how'd the client react? Did they freak out?
It wasn't pretty. What happened then was...
Can you give us a timeline here? When is their wedding? Be vague about it. Is it this year? Is it next year? Is it in a month?
It was late this year. Okay. October, November.
So they've got time to find somebody.
Yes, 100%. Okay. And... I think, Mike, I feel like that once Steve sent the email that I messed up. I think he CC'd me because I told him to. But me ended up being Randy, who was in the office because I was up your way at the ADJA thing.
This was during that Albany trip. Okay.
And so Randy actually responded, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Can we help you find another DJ?" As to which,
within Bunn?
Yes.
So you didn't inform Randy.
I didn't. I didn't
Joe,
know. It was bad. It was bad.
Switch.
Then she just blasted us. It seemed like Steve never wanted to do the wedding. I won't be using any of your guys. You're not professional, so on and so forth.
Right.
Then the wedding planner, who had I guess recommended Steve, called us, and she was so apologetic and just was like, "Yeah, y'all don't do it."
So that's a good sign. The wedding planner understood what PITA.
Yeah.
Okay.
She called,
let me ask you this, because this goes back to a topic we talked about a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Let's say one of your competitors in your market, somebody who you're fairly friendly with, not this other guy that we talked about a few weeks ago, but somebody who what if they called you a week from now and said, "Hey, Joe, we're dealing with this client, and I understand, you weren't available or whatever.
Right.
Can you give us some background?" Would you tell this guy the red flags?
Yeah, I would just say I think it was. Yeah, I think honestly,
you give him a heads up on why you turned
anybody that actually called me, whether we were friendly or not, and wanted to know what happened. I think I would be completely honest and say, listen, it just seemed like there were a lot of red flags. I was worried that even the best party rocking wedding was not going to be good enough, and that we were the wrong fit. And I did a terrible job of conveying that. And
was your photographer friend able to get out of her booking, or did he?
Man, what was crazy about that scenario is he said that at the wedding show, they had quoted one price for his associate. He was there with a female photographer. And he had said, you know, I'm booked, the primary, but I don't remember her name. Susie is open. This girl found her on Facebook and DM'd her to try and get her to side book.
Wow.
To get the lower price.
Wow.
And that was another thing that in the initial consultation. She kept trying to drive our price down. It was a Friday or Sunday. It was what we consider an off day. Kept trying to drive our price down, and Steve was like, it's the same amount of work, you know. Which we are a little bit negotiable. You and I have talked about that, but it was just kind of one of those things where I don't want to be negotiable. Mm-hmm. But yeah, tried to side book his.
So that would be enough for me to tell a client, you know, again, look, I don't appreciate you trying to, you know, go behind my back and book. So we're really not the right company for you. You know?
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. But again, I can't think of a situation like that. And again, it's because those red flags usually come up too late for us.
Yeah. Right. And listen, I'm not going to lie, Mike. So, I mean, that's happened to me. That's happened to my guys. It's going to happen to anybody listening to this. At some point, you will get the, you know, quote unquote bridezilla or somebody that's micromanaging you, and by then it's too late. You know, you got to you get out there and you kick ass and do the best you can.
And then that goes back to the quote that I put on Facebook often, and I believe it's an Elvis Costello quote, although I don't think I've ever been able to track it down. Sometimes when I take the stage, it's a religious experience. Other times, it's just a gig.
Oh, wow.
And I think that that's important to keep in mind as a DJ and as an entertainer. It doesn't mean when it's just a gig, it doesn't mean that you do a subpar job or you don't go all out and try to make it your best. But, I mean, we all know with working with specific clients, there are some that are a dream to work with and appreciative of everything you do, and it's a collaborative effort and everything else. And there are some that you know, the term bridezilla came about because there are some in the industry. Yeah. And again, usually you don't realize you're dealing with one until it's too close. Mm-hmm. And those are the weddings where you just put your head down, you try to do the best possible job you can, but it's just a gig.
You know. I agree, man. I agree. So for part two, I think you saw this. I think the guy messaged both of us, and I'm sorry I didn't write his name down on this. He wanted to know if we had ever talked about equipments and setup. And I don't want to get super technical with this, Mike, but just run me through, and first of all, remind me, are you providing gear for all the guys? Do they have it? Right.
Every one of my guys owns their own sound system. Right. As I've mentioned a number of times this winter, I'm training with 3 DJs, right down here in my basement, every Wednesday night. And all 3 of them already have parts of their sound system put together. When we get close to them launching their own, you know, getting to headline their own gigs.
Sure.
If I have to help them finish, you know, financially, maybe buy speakers for one of them or a cordless microphone for one of them, I'll do that, but it'll be more of on a loan basis where I'll loan them the money and they'll, you know, maybe they'll leave $100 per gig in for the next couple months till it's all paid back. But no, every guy owns their own gear, and that's something I've always wanted them to have.
Same here. So let's talk baseline system. What is the bare minimum, you know, requirement to go out and do a show for Elite Entertainment? And you don't necessarily, I don't need model numbers and brands. I know you're a QSC guy, so, you know, start with your powered speakers and stands and then just kind of work. Yeah,
I love the QSC. The K12 model is fantastic. You pair that with 1 or 2 subs, I think you can do just about every job. If it's a huge event, maybe a huge prom or something like that, we'll bring out more sound. But for our typical 150 to 200 person wedding, 2 12s and 2 subs are fine. For your, you know, 80 person Sweet 16, 2 12s and a sub is fine. So that's our base sound. And yes, I do love QSC. They've been a reliable product. To me, there's 2 ways to judge a speaker. A, how does it sound out of the box? And then B, how does it sound 100 gigs later? Because that's really the test. I've got my QSCs that they probably have 250 gigs under their belt, and they still sound phenomenal.
Still kicking. What about controller wise, Mike? I guess I assume all your guys are on controllers.
So most of the guys are on controllers, and I don't really put any
brand requirement.
I don't brand or steer them in any direction.
Yeah.
One of the very cool things about working as an assistant for Elite is you will, in your first 6 months, work with pretty much every MC, and so you'll have an opportunity to test drive, if you will, every controller and also software programs. Some of my guys are Tractor, some are Virtual, some are Record Box. I'm Serato. A few of the guys are Serato. So by the time you get to that point in your career, like these three gentlemen are, you've really had a chance to kind of test drive every system. And, you know, as long as it's professional grade, I'm fine with you selecting, the Denon unit, the Pioneer unit, whichever. I'm fine with you. Roland has a really cool controller coming out. I want to check it out again in Las Vegas. So there's a number of great controllers. As long as it's professional grade, I'm good with it. So what about you, Joe? What kind of controllers and software and everything else? Do you have a baseline? Do you have a...
Same with us in terms of speakers.
Your guys own their own gear, correct?
Correct. All guys
so we
own
have
their
a
own
similar
gear.
model
We
like
do.
that.
And again, if I'd hired somebody really green that only had bits and pieces, maybe even just a laptop, I would be glad to do some kind of a finance package with them, if I really saw the potential in them being a rock star for us. But yeah, honestly, Mike, it's pretty rare that my guys will even take out a sub. Usually our average crowd is about 125 to 150, barn or ballroom, and we usually take out a pair of...
Did you say barn?
Barn. A lot of barn weddings.
Yes.
Shitloads of barns. Same thing, pair of 12.
Yeah, that rustic vibe is still kind of it's in, right?
People are still building them. I mean, it's not
Mason
even like
jar
these are
drinks.
old. Oh, yeah, man. It's still happening down here.
That's not just down there, Joe. It's we see it. It definitely, I think it peaked a couple years ago, and so it's been a little bit on the downside, but there's a few farm type settings, barn type settings in New Jersey that are more popular now than they were a decade ago.
Man, I was super... So Jana and I drove from the DJ Expo in Atlantic City. Wait, I'm sorry. Reverse that. We drove from Wedding Wire World in D.C.
Oh, that's right. And then you came up to AC.
And I think I don't know what he did, but he's doing 55 things at once like Jana does, and somehow took us off like a side road. And we actually ended up like in the country in New Jersey. And I was like, man, this is like some real rural North Carolina stuff here. Anyway, I was pretty impressed that y'all actually had like farms and country.
You do. They call New Jersey the Garden State, and when I first moved out here, I thought that was sarcastic.
Right.
Like the city of brotherly love in Philadelphia. But there really is. There are some beautiful mountains and farmland, and there is some still left. So,
no, I'm not knocking the state. Not knocking it.
So, all right, tangent. So your guys' gear?
Yep.
So you rarely even use subs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, kids, parties, or, a huge crowd, 300 people, something like that, we would.
Yeah.
Again, everything's powered. Usually, most everybody, I think, uses Ultimate stands or these Gator stands that we really like. And again, for the base package, controller-wise, is all over the place. I think everybody uses Serato. And I think everybody has a MacBook instead of a PC. But I think pretty much, other than Frank, who just got that new Roland DJ808 controller, everybody's on the SX like you and I. You're on the SX, right? Or the SX too?
Yeah.
Pioneer. So, but again.
And I have the smaller version of that, which I actually keep down here in my basement. That's kind of my practice training. But also, I'll bring that out for smaller gigs and really bad load-ins.
Right.
If it's a really rough load, because I can carry that thing like a briefcase, whereas the SX is pretty big. But so I've used that at plenty of events. It's a reliable piece.
And that's pretty much it. And then I think last year we made everybody. I added a new requirement was just to get a real basic dance floor lighting package. So kind of those flat LEDs, like a 4-bar, with a foot controller. Everybody.
Now, is that an upgrade or is that a standard? Does that come out?
It's an upgrade for us.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an upgrade for us. And then all the uplights still stay here, Mike. They're all on their chargers, waiting to go out.
I know. I've seen them in your office. You gotta show us that someday. What is it? Right around the wall from you, right?
Yeah, it's right back there. It's kind of like
you got them all charging. It's kind of cool.
It's like a kind of like a locker or cage they're all in.
Right.
I kind of rigged it up.
But again, that's an upgrade, right?
Correct.
You sell that.
Correct. And I think we have like 64. So we usually
send them out. Microphones with every setup, I would assume.
Yeah, exactly. Cordless, and I'm pretty much a stickler about that with Sennheiser and or Shure.
Sure, exactly.
Yeah. I've been
I think where Battle was.
We talked about that before, where we did that park like invocation or something like that, and the mayor came, and one of my guys had said, "Oh, I got this good deal on this Audio Technica mic," and the mayor, ladies and gentlemen, the mayor of Raleigh, I can't remember who it was at the time, and he gets on and and he just dropped it. He dropped it in the grass and started yelling.
Yeah, well, once you've cut out a couple times, I've had officiants do that during ceremonies. It's so embarrassing. That's why I think we've talked about this. When I can reach it with a corded microphone, I use a corded microphone at ceremonies because they don't cut out. You never lose a signal. It might look like a little bit of a pain in the ass with a UXLR going around and a stand, but to me, it's better than that. Dearly, we are getting. It's horrible. And everyone's turning around looking at the DJ, which they should. Right. They're like, "What are you doing?" Like, it's not me. Right. It's a radio signal.
I love that you and I.
So before we wrap up, while we're talking about gear, and since we're both going to be at a major DJ show next week, is there any gear that you're eager to check out and see? Will you walk the floor, with eyes wide open, looking for anything new?
Of course, I will walk the floor, and then again, I mean, I know this show seems like a plug-a-thon for me, but my guy Frank that does
you'll have your tables there.
We will.
Nice. Okay.
For the second year in a row, we'll have our Vision DJ Designs fiberglass booths there, and so we'll have a black one and a white one this year. We just made a new video show how easy it is to take down and take apart and put back together. Cool. Your guy Dom has one. He likes it, I think.
Yeah, Dom loves it.
Yeah, and then Roland is actually sponsoring all the controllers inside them. So we'll have them loaded up with all the new Roland controllers. So
that's the main thing I want to check out. We saw it last year at Think Tank, and I think they also had it in Atlantic City.
Yep.
My only drawback with that controller is the one microphone input. Just this past weekend, I had a wedding where they had the two maids of honor were speaking at the same time, and they said, we both want microphones. Absolutely no problem. As we've talked about, I always have my second one set up anyway.
Yep.
Gave them both, and they went back and forth. If I had only had one microphone, it wouldn't have gone. It would not have. Yeah, exactly. And I understand you can do a second mixer and plug it in and everything else, but to me, that's the whole point of a controller is that it's all in one. I don't want to have external stuff. So Mike, I don't know if they've fixed that problem. Hi, baby. Kelly's here.
Hey, Kelly.
Say hello.
Hey. I'm doing jazz hands for some reason.
Right. What are you doing, Jazz?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Now the dogs are all woke up.
Everybody's hyper.
Dogs over here. Everybody was relaxing. Now it's just it's mayhem.
It's a free for all.
That's right. We're wrapping this episode up, right?
Absolutely. Thanks, honey. Good to see you. Tell her what I said. She can hear me.
You.
Right.
He said he loves you and you look beautiful. And
Happy International Women's Day.
Is today International Women's Day?
Yes.
Oh, happy International Women's Day.
See? She knows. All right.
What's your nickname? For Angela. What does he call me? Well, he calls you a lot of things. Kelly's off to her morning client who he's in his, 80s? Late 80s?
Octogenarian.
Every morning he tells her he wants a boffer.
Stop it.
Kelly has told his daughters who have basically hired him, the day your father doesn't hit on me, I will call you and let you know he's
in
going
trouble.
down.
He's going down.
And it's I think it's heartening to hear that a guy that age, the last thing to go is his libido.
Absolutely.
I think that's kind of cool.
I love that. He's my hero.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So we'll wrap it up. Again, text PHDJ to 919-364-6186. Be in the know with all the sweet PHDJ stuff. Super excited to see you guys in Vegas. Mike, I will see you there, brother.
See you there, everybody.